The first thing I'm going to do is clean the floors with this ZEP neutral pH clean solution. Now we're going to mop them lightly. We're not going to put a lot of water on them. Just enough to get them clean. Now here on this floor, we can see that the carpet wore through the finish. And now it's exposing some of the wood. And we'll have to deal with that. The first thing I want to do is scrape the paint dots from the floor. I recently purchased this Husky paint scraper, which works pretty good. Before I was using the carbide blade scrapers, and we tend to break those a lot, and we couldn't really sharpen them. So I picked this one up, and so far it's working pretty good. It even comes with a file to sharpen the blade when it gets dull. But as far as scraping the larger paint dots, it works good. There's the file you can sharpen it with. I have yet to sharpen it, so that'll be a whole other story there. This scraper is not flat. It has an edge to it, so it works really good at scraping the larger paint dots. It doesn't do very good at scraping the smaller ones. So we're going to scrape all these paint dots as much as we can. I'm not going to get them all scraped up. I'm not trying to have the perfect floor. Another thing I do is I use a razor blade, which has a flat cutting surface to it. And this is real good at taking up the small paint dots. And these paint dots are left from a painter that painted the wall too fast with a roller. So that leads to a misty paint falling down on the floor. And of course, we're not using a drop cloth. Now with the razor blade, I can scrape the first layer of finish off the floor and take them dots with me. Take them up too. This works perfect for that. Now painters, they love to leave these paint dots on the floor. So it makes it hard to refinish the floor. Now since I have bare wood, I'm going to go ahead and stain the entire floor and work that stain in so all the bare wood or any other part of the floor that'll take stain does. That'll help blend everything in. And it's equally as important to remove all the stain that's not soaked into the bare wood. If you leave stain on the floor, it'll look blotchy. Now I'm using this Varathane Premium, and I have to say, it is everything they advertise. So, the wood soaks it in real well. So I've been using that. Now this is a dark walnut. And I tried a couple different kinds of stain. This is the one I feel that matches the best. So I stain the entire floor, just like I did there. Apply it with a rag. Pull it up with a clean rag to make sure we get it all up. So now it's time to shellac. And this is the magic stuff that I use all the time. I usually start with 2 quarts to get started. So any paint dots that are remaining, they get darker with the stain, and they'll get even darker with the orangish on the shellac. Now in previous videos I've gone through the whole process of showing you how I shellac a floor, so I'm not going to go over it in this video. Stay tuned, because in the end I will run over the floor and just show you how it turned out. So we handled paint dots, paint drippings, where the carpet wore through to marry wood, the finish and the color on the floor. And we'll do our best to make the floor look as best as we can. Not expecting a perfect floor, but certainly having a product that turns out pretty good. So I'll continue to shellac the floor all the way to the end, keeping a nice wet edge. As you can see here, I'm just finishing the floor up. We have it when we're done, the floor comes out pretty shiny. This is wet, but it's dry shiny. And I'll work my way out of the room. So here it is, it's dry. And we'll just take a quick run around, show you the floor how it turned out. And it's a pretty big place, a lot of floor area. Now we'll take a look in here, and you can see the floor is not perfect, but it's certainly a lot nicer than what we had, and we did it for a reasonable cost. Good luck with your floor.